Alright, let's try this one more time. So far, so good. Alright, so the city of Westgate is the oldest and richest, most corrupt port city in the Sea of Fallen Stars. It gets the nickname Gateway to the West from its role as the Inner Sea's most prolific port city. A person from Westgate is known as a Westavian. It's an open city that welcomes all races and religions. The town is ruled by Lord Gedrin Thalavar, also known as Shadowbane, who resides in a keep that looms over the city, called Castle Thalavar. Lord Thalavar is the leader of the Eye of Justice, which is a paladin order that is dedicated to the worship of the threefold god. He carries Helm's own sword, named Vindicator. The heresy of the threefold god is the belief that Helm, Tyr, and Torm are all the same god. The Eye of Justice is the only known organization that holds this belief. Lord Gedrin Shadowbane had a vision in which Helm was slain by Tyr, and Helm's godhood emerged with Tyr's. Later, Gedrin had another vision in which Tyr was killed by Orcus, after which Tyr's essence merged with Torm's, creating the threefold god. Westgate is one of the few free cities left on the Dragon Coast that is not occupied by either Cormor or Sembia. In order to preserve its independence, Westgate has played both powers against each other, perhaps even supporting insurrections within Cormor's borders to stem its expansionism. And now I'm going to introduce our characters. Adam, why don't you tell us who you're playing and tell us first a few things about yourself and then also your one unique thing.
I am playing Marek Corvin. He's a paladin of the Eye of Justice, and he's often been dogged within the order as being a cripple, and he's not very well respected, but he's got a good heart and he wants to prove himself, and he's trying his absolute best. He's quite tall, a bit out of shape. He's got a limp, bald head, big beard. That's about it. Other than his one unique thing, he comes from a family of nobles from Cormir, and they were kind of like a sect of vampire hunters stretching back like 500 years, and he doesn't know about that.
Okay, cool. Let's see, Rod, why don't you tell us a little bit about Vale?
Alright, Vale is a elf. He's a cleric. He worships the moon goddess of the elves, Sehani Moonbow. He's an elf that has basically forsaken his race and his family, so that's why he only goes about with the name Vale. And as an early cleric, his temple was attacked by a demon, and let's just say in his sleep he had a run-in with a succubus, and she periodically messes with his head from every now and then again.
Sounds good. Alright, next, Steven, let's hear about Haviland.
Steve-O.
Haviland Krim is a fat, socially awkward but mysterious wizard. Previously worked for Zentarium Order, but left on bad terms, trying to ensure the safety of his family. Unfortunately, his wife died in childbirth, but he still roams the world searching for adventure and stories to tell in his old age. His unique thing is that when he was working on an artifact for the Zentarium, provided him with two dreams, one in which his wife dies and the other in which his son died. So he knows that he cannot die until his son has died in front of him, but that has yet to happen.
And where did you say his son was? Like, where did he go? Where did his son go?
His son was left with the clerics of...
It's all right. You don't have to be
after-
specific. I was just curious, like what, like where, like if you left him somewhere or something like that.
Oh yeah, I left my son with the clerics of Ogma because they helped with my wife during the pregnancy, but or he helped his wife during the pregnancy, but he intentionally doesn't know where the son is in order to protect him with anonymity.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Mark, how about you? Tell us about Dante.
Okay. So Dante is a bit of a mercenary in a way. Not many people know his actual name of Dante, so the fact that the group know it is more than most people know. So he's very low key, keeps himself to himself mostly. The only one pastime that he enjoys is playing cards. So he's very good at cards and likes to play cards for fun. So he always carries a deck of cards around with him, a bit like Gambit from X-Men. So that's kind of how much he loves his cards. 1 second. No, go away, please. No, the man. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's good with the bow, and as I said, he likes to keep himself, and he met Vale, who was just introduced before, pretty much as a like in Westgate after his party split up, sort of thing, and being like alone, both of them sort of buddied up. But other than that, there's no other real friends he has in Westgate. His main unique trait is the past town that he was in. There was a well-known, like, and famous, like, within the town oracle that had visions and stopped Dante on the street and informed him that one day his name, which he keeps to himself, would be known across the lands for slaying a mighty king.
Cool.
And yeah, that'd be Dante.
Okay, cool. James, let's hear about Adadiah.
I guess the best way to sum up Adadiah is a criminal attorney. Before he showed up in Westgate, he kind of just showed up as a toddler in Cedar Spoke and became a bit of a thief. Ended up killing a guy, had to get the fuck out of town. So after a couple of years of shenanigans, he showed up in Westgate and somehow through other shenanigans became a lawyer. And his thing is basically he's willing to resort to bribery and blackmail or anything if he thinks it'll let a good man go free. And wow, that feedback was loud. But anyway, his one unique thing is when he showed up in Westgate as a toddler, he was actually lost by cultists to some horrible eldritch thing that were going to use him as a host body for said horrible eldritch thing when he turned 13.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Alright, so we begin in the town of Westgate, as I have described. Merrick.
Hello.
You were recently approached by Kaelin Dren, who is the second in charge of the Paladin Order, the Eye of Justice. And he has asked you to investigate some undead activity that is occurring in a small village named Clover. The things that he told you is that Clover is a small town that's nestled in the Giants Run Mountains south of Pros in a region called the Valley of Shadows. Reports have been coming into Westgate that undead have been roaming out of the mountains and into the city below. Some of the townspeople have already abandoned the city after suffering casualties to the undead. What's interesting about this town is it's the sole producer of a tea called Yellow Clove Tea that's very expensive and is very popular across the Dragon Coast. It can't be grown anywhere else, in the world. This is the only spot that it's they've been able to grow it. It's due to the climate that comes from the valley. The altitude and the temperature combined makes a perfect environment for growing it.
Okay.
He also told you that there was a notable inhabitant who lives in Clover, and he's a wizard by the name of Bert the Brown. He's friendly towards the Eye of Justice, and he said you might want to drop in and talk to him if you could. Maybe he could, give you a little more advice. So, where we'll start is you've received this sort of mission from Kalen, and you're now amongst your party, and I guess you guys are preparing to make your journey to the Giants Run Mountains.
From Westgate.
Right.
Okay.
I'll show you on the map where that is. So you guys are in Westgate, which